We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Distinguished guests, honorable speakers, respected teachers and dear friends, good morning and warm welcome to all. Today I stand before you not to deliver recent news, but to speak a truth that our planet urgently needs us to hear. A truth that is written in freezing seas, scorched forests, and the silence of species that once violate our world wildlife. The truth is this: we are living through an era of ecological disaster, and the time to act is not tomorrow, it is now. What exactly is an ecological disaster? It is a severe disruption of our natural environment caused by human activity, natural forces, or both that result in lasting damage to ecosystem, biodiversity, and the very system that sustain all life on Earth. We see it in the Amazon rainforest, where millions of acres of ancient trees are burned each year to make way for agriculture and industry. We see it in our oceans, where plastic waste has formed islands larger than entire countries. We see it in the polar regions, where glaciers that took thousands of years to form are vanishing within decades. We see it in our skies, where the invisible shell of our atmosphere grows thinner with every ton of carbon we release into the air. These are not distant tragedies. They are happening in our lifetime, in your generation, and in many cases, in our own backyard. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. How did we get here? The causes of ecological disaster are many, but at their root lies on common theme: the prioritization of short-term human gain over the long-term health of our planet. Rapid industrialization has violated our atmosphere with greenhouse gases, trapping heat and driving global temperatures the dangerous new hikes. Deforestation has stripped our land of the lungs it needs to breathe. Overfishing has devoured ocean ecosystem that took millennia to develop. Chemical pollution has poisoned river soil and water, silently contaminating the food chain that all living things, including ourselves, depend upon. And yet, even as the evidence piles up, even as scientists issue warning after warning, the pace of destruction continues. Why? Because change is difficult. Because powerful economic interests resist it. And because too many of us believe that the problem is too big for one person, one community, or one generation to solve. Let us be clear about the consequences of inaction. Ecological disasters do not only threaten wildlife, they threaten us. Climate change is intensifying. Hurricanes, floods, and droughts that destroy homes and livelihoods. Deforestation is fueling pandemics as wildlife displaced from their habitats come into closer contact with human population. Water scarcity is already driving conflict in parts of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. At scarcity ever than in we continue of our current phase, we may trigger irreversible tipping points change so drastic that no amount of human effort could erase them. The cost of inaction is not measured only in economic terms. It is measured in lives lost in cultures swept away by rising seas, and children will inherit a world far less beautiful and far more fragile than the one we were given. But it did not come here only to speak of despair. It came here to speak of possibility, because the same ingenuity and determination that create this problem can also solve them. Government must enforce stronger environmental laws and hold corporations accountable for the damage they causes. Industries must transition to renewable energy source, solar, wind, and geothermal, that do not come at the cost of our planets. Health scientists and innovators must be supported in developing sustainable technologies that allow us to meet human needs without destroying the natural world. But perhaps most importantly, we as individuals must change. We must make conscious choice to reduce waste, to consume responsibly, to plant trees, to support environmental organizations, and to vote for leaders who take the ecological crisis seriously. We must educate our children about the value of the natural world, not merely as a resource to be exploited, but as a living, breathing community of which we are part. Small action motivated by millions of people get opinion. Movements shape police, and police determine the future of our planet. Ladies and gentlemen, the earth does not need it to save it existed for a billion of years before we arrived. What it needs is for use to stop destroying it. What it needs is our restraint, our wisdom, and our respect. We are the first generation to fully understand the scale of the ecological crisis, and we may be that last generation with enough time to do something meaningful about it. Let us not was this moment. Let us be the generation that goes core over comfort, sustainability over convenience, and life over profit. The future of our planet is not yet written, but every choice we make today is our in that story. Let us make sure it is a story worth telling. Thank you.